Medical assistance needed.
Tango's on me! Fuck the division!
Serious trauma detected.
If you guys are interested in being a member, then click the join button down below to check out the available perks. The first tier is only $1. Thank you to those of you who choose to join. With that said, welcome to another Division 2 build breakdown video. I hope after seeing those intro clips, this build piqued your interest. I've made today's build in response to the stealth changes that were put into the summit. These changes happened in either of two unannounced maintenances that they had a couple days after I released the Legend Killer build. If you guys farm the summit solo on legendary like I do, you'll have noticed a few big changes. Changes like the floors are now 95% red or purple NPCs, which is weird when you're supposed to be fighting the toughest of the white tusk, which is meant to be the elites. This change was obviously done because the Legend Killer build's weakness was red and purple NPCs. Not only do floors now have more reds and purples, but they now seem to hit harder, be more accurate and act more aggressive, rushing right at you to get behind you all the time. On top of these changes to lower grade NPCs, hunters on floor 100 now EMP you every 10 seconds or less so that you can't have your shield up. The devs clearly didn't like the fact that players found a counter to the strongest NPCs in the game and decided to implement stealth changes so this would no longer be the case. I will admit the build was very strong against elite type NPCs but was far from overpowered. It could be countered and it had its weaknesses. It also required a playstyle and many hours of farming and crafting to obtain it. I'm very disappointed the devs would ruin so many players' hard work and fun, and before the devs white knights pop up, yes I know there is no solid proof of these changes, i.e. patch notes or anything said by the devs, but as veteran players, those who put hundreds of floors into the summit on legendary feel and notice the changes that I am talking about. Now with that said, let's get into today's build, which is a build that I put together to counter some of the changes made in the legendary summit, as well as allow you guys to farm heroic content like control points with ease. Now because of the changes to the summit's NPCs, I've decided to go for an assault rifle build, as that's going to allow us to kill enemies from a distance. This is to prevent them from running up on us or getting behind us. We are also using an AR because it has the health damage attribute on it, which is going to kill the red and robotic NPCs faster. The playstyle needed from you in order to benefit from this build is one where you play the outskirts or the back end of the room, holding down areas and not allowing them to get behind you. This isn't a run and gun build, nor is it a sit back and camp in a doorway build. When it comes to the damage, with all buffs active we are looking at 60% crit chance, 160% critical hit damage and 220% weapon damage, allowing us to hit for 440k crits to the body of armoured NPCs and 500k plus crits to health based or robotic NPCs. So this is a build capable of doing enough damage to kill all NPC types, as well as have enough survivability we don't get shredded by them either. When it comes to the build survivability, we have 1.5 million base armor and gain 40% bonus armor on kill, taking us way over 2 million armor. We also gain 3% armor regen from the exotic memento backpack's long term buff, which lasts for 5 minutes, and our survivability doesn't stop there because we also have 70% protection from elites, 10% off the 80% cap. Protection from elites not only applies to your character but your skills as well, which is one of the big reasons the hunters couldn't break the Legend Killer build shield. The reason I stayed at 70% is because I felt anything under it didn't feel as effective in legendary content. Now there is still many of you who don't know about improvised gear, what it does and how to get it, so here's a quick crash course. You can craft improvised gear at the crafting station at the base of operations. I believe all level 40 players have the blueprints. Improvised gear got a change in TU11, allowing us to have mod slots on our gloves, holsters and knee pads. These improvised pieces allow us to spec an extra 36% into the protection from elite stat. That's if you have all mods at 12%. I have been shown there are 13% mods out there and they are not easy to get. We also gain an extra 10% PVE from the survivalist specialization, helping us reach the 70% mark. You can drop this down to 50% when it comes to heroic control points, but I'd recommend leaving it at 70% for the legendary summit. Before we get into the build breakdown, if you haven't already, then smash that like button to help us grow as it pushes us into the recommended section. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions and I'll reply like I always do. Subscribe if you're new for lots more Division 2 content, and with that said, let's get into the build breakdown. Starting off with the specialization, we are using the survivalist like I said earlier guys. This is for the 10% protection from elites. That is the main reason we are using it. Moving on to our primary weapon. This is my favorite assault rifle in the game, the Exotic Chameleon. The reason we are using this is because after 30 headshots it grants 20% critical hit chance and 50% critical hit damage. After 75 body shots grants 90% weapon damage, and after 30 leg shots grants 150% reload speed. Now you can hold these buffs for 45 seconds. If you're doing heroic missions, you can literally hold this buff throughout the whole mission, because whenever you go out of combat you hold on to that. It's also good for the legendary content as well, the summit. It's pretty good for the control points on heroic as well. When it comes to our secondary, I'm using the SIG MPX with close and personal. I am going to be rolling the attribute at the bottom, that critical hit damage, to either damage to targets out of cover or damage to armor. When it comes to the attachments on this, we have critical hit damage on the scope, we have 10% accuracy on the grip, and we have 5% critical hit damage on the muzzle. The reason I have 10% accuracy there is because I could only put crit chance there instead, and we are at the cap when it comes to the crit chance for this weapon. The magazine gives us the extra 20 rounds, and again we are using close and personal. Killing a target within 7 meters grants 30% weapon damage for 10 seconds. This weapon we use just in case we run out of ammo from our assault rifle. Now moving on to the actual gear pieces, we have 2 pieces of Walker Harris, which gives us 5% weapon damage and 5% damage to armor. On this mask we have 14.7% weapon damage, 5.9% critical hit chance and 12% critical hit damage, and then a mod giving us 12% protection from elites. Moving on to the chest piece, which is our second piece of Walker Harris. It's not the greatest chest piece in the world at 9.7% weapon damage, 9.6% critical hit damage and 3.7% crit chance. We could definitely use a better chest piece. We have a mod giving us 12% protection from elites, and the talent we are using is Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 5 seconds, stacks up to 25 times. Moving on to our holster, we have our improvised holster with maxed out armor at 170k, 9.5% critical hit damage, 6% critical hit chance and 12% protection from elites via a mod. Moving on to our knee pads, these are max armor again at 170k, 4.2% critical hit chance, 10.3% critical hit damage, and a mod giving us 12% protection from elites again. Moving on to the gloves, we have Grupo gloves giving us 15% critical hit damage. Those I rolled for max armor at 170k. We have 11.5% critical hit damage, 6% critical hit chance, and that is it for the gloves. And then finally we have the Memento backpack. Now as you can see, 15% weapon damage, 160k armor, 1 skill tier, and 12% protection from elites. Now don't forget guys that all your blues contribute to the strength of your shield, so does that 1 skill tier. Also what contributes to the strength of your shield is the talents from the Memento backpack. Kill confirmed, enemies you kill drop a trophy on death. Collecting trophies provides both a short and long term buff, the first of which scales with the number of core attributes equipped and lasts 10 seconds. So our shield will get the 5% skill efficiency because we only have 1 skill tier. When it comes to damage, we pick up 15% weapon damage, and then when it comes to the bonus armor, we gain 40% bonus armor. For every trophy collected, gain an additional 1% weapon damage, 1% skill efficiency and 0.1% armor regeneration for 300 seconds. So the long term buff offers us 30% weapon damage, 30% skill efficiency and 3% armor regen for 5 minutes. So now we have covered the gear pieces, we're going to move on to the skills, and we're not going to dilly dally. I'm using the Crusader shield. Not many people like this shield, but I feel it is necessary. When it comes to the heroic content, not so much. Feel free to chop and change things, but as you can see, our shield is a tier 5 with the 1 yellow and the 4 blues. We also have 4 million health on this, which goes up to around 5 million when you get the buffs from the Memento backpack. When it comes to the mods on this shield, 4.6% shield health, 4.1% shield health, and then 4% damage bonus, which doesn't apply because we're not using the firewall specialization. Moving on to my favorite skill, the striker drone. I still use this as more as a distraction than anything else. I will say when it comes to the summit though, you can switch this out, and I'd recommend using the jammer pulse. It's just so good for getting down their turrets, the robotics, the drones, all those annoying things. Definitely use the jammer pulse. Although it only lasts for 3.6 seconds, it really does help. It kills off those drones, those aggravating drones. It takes down the robotics for just enough so you can melt through them. Moving on to the stat sheet now guys, and I'm not going to talk. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to smash that like button to show your support to help us grow, to push us into the recommended section. Thank you guys for 20k subscribers. I'm probably going to be thanking you for 21k real soon, as we're halfway to getting there at 20.5k subs. Again, thank you. You guys are amazing. I look forward to talking to you in the comment section below. And with that said, I'll leave you guys with the rest of this video. Peace out, Mob Squad.
Soldier down!
He's moving! I'm dry! Changing back! Oh, got some shit! I'll get that support.
I'm mobilizing!
Need to reload!
What's up, huh? Can't take much.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
Gotta take this fucker out! Back the fuck off! Putting any fire downrange.